Wow. Okay, so let's just recap that. So you become CEO. You come up with this new digital blueprint.
Yeah.
You launch your own internal core digital team, CDX, the Consumer Digital Experience arm. You decide that you're going to use that team to upgrade across the banking facilities. As a second priority, you're going to launch a new digital bank, which, let's be clear, was the first digital Islamic bank in Malaysia.
Yes.
At that time,
Yeah.
right? But also, and that's where, we were very grateful to meet you. And you wanted to work with third-party fintechs and use them and their learnings and their innovation and integrate it to go faster and further together. So we first met back in 2022, back in Oxford.
Yeah.
If you remember, we had a meal at that Turkish restaurant. And I remember you telling me your plans, and I thought, we had so many learnings from here in the UK building our own consumer app, the Muslim Money app, which had some PFM services, personal financial management, budgeting, auto saving, but with some Sharia services on top, like Sharia stock screening, zakat calculation. And it was a real interesting meeting of minds, because at that point, we had never considered, let's go and work with a bank. We had always come under the presumption that Kestrel was born as a response to how poor Islamic banking services were in the West. Here in the UK, we have some Islamic banking brands, but very, very few people were engaging with them because of poor user experience, poor customer service and digital services, higher fees, and ultimately a sense of, I can't trust these brands. So we were born as a response to that. And in our wildest dreams, we never imagined, and it seems obvious in hindsight, we should be working with those banks who have the brand, who have the capital, and what they lack is the technology where we can come in and do that for them. So, that was a big change for us at Kestrel, and obviously we're very, very grateful for that opportunity. So with BU, I wanted to ask then, you now have two brands, the BU brand and Bank Islam Go.
Yes.
So it's interesting because you see other banks doing two brands over in Emirates and UAE, even here in the UK. How do you get away from one brand cannibalizing the other, and people using BU instead of Bank Islam Go or vice versa?
I mean, to me, it doesn't matter because it's part of the same group.
Sure.
But if I were to sort of give a distinction between the two, is that BU is fully digital. It's aimed at specific segment, and these are the youth and those under the gig or earning in the gig economy. So we are very focused in terms of creating the proposition for that particular segment. Bank Islam, through the 40 years of our existence, we've got other segments. And the thing is that when we set up BU, we wanted to focus on the segments that we are not strong at, because these are the new sort of segments that were coming up and all that. At Bank Islam, at the core, even our retail, we are a lot more focused on the salaried employees with full-time employment, stable income, that kind of thing, right? So that is from segmentation perspective. So that's why, no doubt that there would be cannibalization, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter. But the way how we set it up, we make sure that BU will help to complement Bank Islam in terms of going into the segment that we are not strong at, or we're not having a clear proposition yet. So BU is gonna.
So BU is almost like the innovation arm.
Correct.
For what everything you're doing.
And then Go, like you mentioned just now, that is just another digital channel for Bank Islam, the bigger segment that we have, for example. It will continue to coexist because the proposition, what we are going to put over there, would be differentiated, but it is up to our customer. And I can imagine, for example, a customer that started with BU, when they move on and in terms of their financial services needs becoming more complex, they can continue to use Bank Islam, but using the through our other channels.
Yeah.
We've got physical channels, digital channels, Go, and internet banking and all that. And that can be done very seamlessly from our perspective. But coming back to your point on that is, why do we, partner with Kestrel and all that? I think we see alignment in terms of purpose. See, at Bank Islam, our purpose is very clear: to advance prosperity for all. And that means that, we want to be able to provide services and be relevant to all segments of the society, including the underserved. Now, in the context of Malaysia, when we talk about underserved, it's not about bank access to bank accounts. deposit accounts, because almost everybody has got a deposit account in Malaysia. But the exclusion or the inclusion that we want to bring would be in terms of to the credit in terms of product.
Okay.
Because not all customers are able to get credit products from banks in Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
You need to have income of above certain level and whatnot. And if you do not hold like full-time employment, stable jobs and all that, it's very difficult to get. And the unfortunate thing is that when we look back 5 years ago, all these people in the informal sector, they needed to turn to money lenders and all that. And in terms of the cost of borrowing for them can be very, very
so these
expensive.
are unregulated money lenders.
They could be licensed,
okay,
but for as long as they are not regulated, because in Malaysia there are two segments. You can be a licensed money lender but not regulated under Bank Negara. So that one has got slightly different rule. Those regulated under Bank Negara is a lot tighter in terms of the market conduct and whatnot, right?
Of course.
So we said that we wanted to do that. So that's the reason why, part of the reason why we started BU as well. So we want to give financial inclusion, and BU was set up to give financial literacy. So obviously when the purpose is very clear about building that financial literacy and elevating the income of the people in that segment, so naturally we'll be looking at how do we enable them to cultivate the habit of saving, provide investment opportunities for them to know how to manage their finances and all that. And that's why this PFM comes in, because that's very important. At the same time, we also want to be able to help to build their credit score for them, because when they do transactions with us, when we see them putting certain amount of their money into savings and all that, then we are better able to sort of create credit score for the different customers and all that. So that will be the journey that we want to be able to bring. And because we are also serving the gig marketplace, so the gig people earning in the gig economy, that's why we tie up with gig marketplaces.
Okay.
For them to be able to find jobs.
So that's really interesting, because now you're moving into the embedded banking type space, where it's taking banking services and taking them to areas where they're historically not there. So BU will evolve into becoming a place where you could not only access banking services and get credit scores, but also you could find new jobs to do as a gig economy worker.
Yeah, currently we have already worked with 3 gig marketplaces.
Okay.
We've got QWorks, we got Fusion Sparks, we got Artists, and obviously we want to be able to embed more on our philosophy is that to enable our customers to be able to access different job opportunities. In the pipeline, we also want to be able to help them to improve their skills and knowledge, because we believe that our customers, if they are better skilled or more knowledgeable, they have the ability to earn more. So we will be partnering with, for example, training providers and all that, where if you're a technician and there's certain certification that you can do, that once you get that certification, you're able to earn a bit more. And we say that, okay, we'll finance you to be able to do it so that you can elevate your income, right? So that's the thing. We also know that, for example, people in gig employment, income is not stable. It's even more important for them to be able to manage their finances and all that. That's why we have this PFM, so that they know how to do budgeting and whatnot, because people like us, we are finance people, that can be something quite intuitive for us, but not everybody will know that, right? And the other thing, from perspective of protection, people who work in like big companies and all that, they've got all their insurance and all that covered for them. But people in the gig economy, they need to be able, that's why we have micro takaful, for example. So we'll continue to build on that. Currently, BU itself, we're rolling out products under MVP. We've got deposit products. We're going to have second deposit products. We're coming up with our term deposits. Micro takaful is already there. This year, inshallah, we're going to come up with our microfinancing, our term deposit.
Fantastic.
And obviously, there's a lot more things that we will put in to make sure that we're able to serve that segment better.
Thank you for listening to the Muslim Money Talk podcast. If you like what you heard, then please subscribe to Muslim Money Talk wherever you might have been listening to this. Give us a like and share it with someone who you think might be interested. It really, really helps us out. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, and see you next time.